Well, happy Friday, everybody, and happy weekend. Why is Craig late? What am I trying now? Oh boy. Uh oh. Somebody. I'm in trouble. I don't know what's happening. I was 1 minute late. Come on. Today we're talking about what in the world is going on with HBO Max and Discovery. Excuse me. Yesterday, I put out a video. It was very quick and dirty, kind of little video about some of the rumors that were swirling around, the death of HBO Max and all that stuff. And then later on, yesterday afternoon, Discovery, or I should say Warner Brothers Discovery, whatever, they did their Q2 earnings report, which is also a time when they make lots of announcements, stuff comes out, and so we're going to talk about some of that stuff today. What has turned out to be just rumor, what has been debunked, what has been not debunked but also not confirmed, that sort of thing. So yeah, we're going to talk about that today with the help of Jared Newman, our buddy over at Tech Hive. I've had him on the live stream a few times. Today he's not coming on the live stream, but I am going to use his email and encourage you to subscribe if you are into streaming issues, and I'm assuming that you are. Then you should definitely subscribe to his newsletter. So we'll talk about how you can do that. Anyway. I'm gonna end up using his email because he did a really nice job bullet pointing out. All right, here were the highlights from yesterday's announcement. So it'll be a simple way for us to get into it. All right, so as we do that, let me just say hello to everybody: William, Socrates, Astro, Josh, Thomas, Derek, Stacy, Mel, Sylvia. Oh yeah, all the greatest hits are here. TJ, yeah, glad you guys are all here. So. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's talk about what the rumors are first, okay? In fact, I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, no, I can't do that. I've got to stop that share. I want to share my other screen. So I want to talk about what the rumors have been. Let's do this screen. Okay. And then we'll... Let's... Oh, gosh, you guys. I have so many windows open. Okay. Oh yeah. Let's pull that one back up. Okay. So let's start with this. A lot of stuff has gone down with HBO Max, with Warner Brothers streaming efforts. Largely understood. So this was one of the first things that happened. All right. I forget my timeline. I think Batgirl got canceled first, and then this one came down. A day or two later. But this is something that's that people have been talking about. What is it? HBO Max quietly removed 6 Warner Brothers streaming exclusive movies. So basically, what that means, Warner Brothers streaming exclusive movies, basically means these were made for HBO Max. These are HBO Max originals. Let's hide that. Okay, so what does it say? Let's see. Moonshot, Super Intelligence, The Witches, An American Pickle, and let's see if I can blow this up a little bit for you. And then, oh, that's right, Locked Down. Okay, Charm City Kings. There we go. Okay, so those are the 6 movies. So why did these get removed? What is going on? Well, here's the context we need to know. In fact, I wonder if they have the context in here. They probably have a little bit, but basically, with the merger, what are we talking about? Warner Brothers and Discovery, they merge. Warner Brothers still owns a majority stake, but they've given over all operational control to Discovery, because they figure, hey, you guys have built a giant media empire, you must know what you're doing. So here you go. Here are the keys to the car, the HBO Max car. Enjoy it. Don't go too fast. Well. The incoming CEO, the guy I can't remember his name, Zaslav, David Zaslav, I think his name is. I'll find it later. He when the merger first happened, he gets on a call and he tells investors that I am going to find $3 billion. Let me say that again: $3 billion in cost savings. because that was a concern with investors over at Warner Media, was that that costs were out of control. We're spending too much money with the pandemic and everything. It was money that was being spent but wasn't being recouped the way that it would have been in years prior. So I hope I'm getting his name right. David Zaslav says, "I will find $3 billion in cost savings." So, not knowing what their whole budget is, who knows? Maybe I doubt it's a rounding error, but it's it's a lot of money. This is part of that program. The other thing, we can talk about this. Oh, yeah, here, let's blow that back up for you. We can talk about this one right here. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO defends axing Batgirl. We're not going to put out a movie unless we believe in it. Well, okay. So the Batgirl thing. So they canceled Batgirl. They spent, depending on where you're reading about it, they spent either 70 million or 90 million on it and then just canceled it. We're not going to put this movie out. There are two reasons for that. The first reason is brand. For brand visibility purposes, they didn't want a bad movie to go out there. Which is almost hilarious. Considering the DC films track record. Which, by the way, I'm a defender of some of those films that other people hate, but we have to admit it's not a great track record on DC films. So they're going to put out Batgirl, and test audiences are like, this stinks. It stinks bad. This is a terrible movie. And so there are a few options that you've got as a studio at that point. You can strip the movie down, try to recut it. You can do pickups. If there are certain scenes that just aren't working that you want to try again, you can do pickups and try to, make something out of it. You could dump it on streaming. You could go to theaters anyway and just say, hey, we'll make whatever we can make. Who cares? Whatever. But the road they decided to go down shocked everybody, which was they just pulled the movie. They said, hey, if Batgirl isn't any good, we're going to pull it. And why? That brings us to the second reason. Why would they go down that road as opposed to one of the others? Well, it's because of cost savings. Like I said, he's trying to find $3 billion in cost savings. And essentially, by scrapping the movie, I don't know how much of that 70 to 90 million they can write off, but it's a significant portion. They can write off a bunch of money. So tax write-offs are basically why they took that road. And that brings us back to this story. Why did they remove 6 Warner Brothers movies, 6 HBO Max exclusives from the service? From a consumer perspective, you're thinking, hey, wait a minute. These are your movies. You're not licensing them. You're not paying any extra to have them on there. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Well, and look, who has 2 thumbs and failed accounting in college? This guy. So I don't get it. Like, I'm not saying I get it. I'm not saying I understand how this all works. But by pulling by pulling these underperforming movies, they're able to do a multi-year amortization. Kind of for tax write-off purposes, they can call these films losses and write those off over the next few years. So all of this is in the service of trying to get that cost savings that Zaslav promised to investors. So this is obviously just part of it, and we're going to talk more about what I think will be some other cost-saving measures that he's going to implement. But anyway, okay, so that's the first part of what's going on. I am going to just check over on the see, I'm looking over here, but the chat is over there. I'm just double checking, see if I this whole situation is fascinating, not necessarily in a good way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. It is definitely that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Let's see. Where's my next one? Okay. So, what else do we have here? I'm trying to think of the rest of the rumor mill. Okay. So, the other this is hilarious. The other rumor, and this came on Twitter from somebody who's been covering this stuff lately, and I think I closed that window. Oh well, I don't have it. Basically, the rumor now is that HBO Max may go away. At this point, since they didn't make that announcement yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and move myself back into the much more skeptical camp. The rumors were swirling, and they were swirling hard yesterday, and they were interesting to talk about. That's why I made that video yesterday. So, but I'll just tell you what the rumor is. It's that because of those cost-saving measures and because of the cuts to HBO Max development staff, 70% of that dev staff got cut or will get cut, I think is how it's going to go down. Why would they do that? Well, it's because right now, technically, HBO Max and HBO are separate entities. It's not the same group of people, right? So HBO Max is kind of the Warner Media streaming team. HBO is HBO. It's what it's always been. They're just producing great shows, whatever. So why would they cut 70% of the staff or of the dev staff, over at HBO Max? It stands to reason that it's because there are redundancies there. And they say, hey, if we just merge these back together, or not back together, they were never, if we merge these together, we're going to have a bunch of redundant staff, and we don't need those, so we can cut a whole bunch of people and keep making content. And so the rumor has been that HBO Max would get the axe. Nice. And that the HBO brand would be the only survivor from that. And if they did that, then the rumor was that the Discovery Plus app, the streaming app on your TV, would survive and would then have an HBO hub or a channel inside that app, which sounds completely insane to me. Like I said yesterday in the video, I would be shocked. I would be angry. It would be a terrible idea from where I'm sitting as a consumer. So I'm with you, Mel. They better not mess up HBO Max. Then they're probably going to. Okay. Yeah, this is the new. Yeah, I think we're gonna get to some of this newer stuff. Thank goodness, as you say. Yeah, that's absolutely. So don't they go by the numbers? Oh boy. Speaking of numbers, I love this. Here are some numbers that came out yesterday. Oh, wrong button. Right button. Okay. Here is a number that we can look at yesterday. Warner Brothers Discovery tops 92 million streaming subscribers. Doesn't break out HBO Max numbers. Okay, so what does this mean? Yeah. So this kind of feeds into, and I feel like this is so complex. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me as I kind of try to work through this out loud, but it is kind of complex. One of the things that people are speculating is that this Zaslav guy doesn't give a single solitary you-know-what about, Warner content, about HBO Max, about all this stuff. Yeah, this could be wrong. I'm just saying, this is what's flying around out there, is that he doesn't care about it. He has built Discovery into this insane media empire, this reality TV empire, and that's what he cares about. That's what he wants to build. And so this is a great kind of indication of that. They're going to put out this number that says, hey, we topped 92 million streaming subscribers. And there's that name right there. Oh, Warner Brothers Discovery, 92 million streaming subscribers. But the thing is, that's combined, HBO Max and Discovery Plus. HBO Max has, at last count, just under 77 million subscribers, while the other one, Discovery Plus, had just under 22 million subscribers, which, you add those up and we should be at 98 or 99 million subscribers, and we are not. So, that may be why they're not breaking out specific numbers, is because they don't want to look bad, right? Um, so anyway, so that's part of it. And then here we go. Mark is making a good comment. So thank you, Mark. I'm going to pull this one up. Um, Zaslav thinks reality TV is the key to profits since it has a high margin, but it's got a limited audience. Hope he doesn't ruin the great content on HBO trying to do things cheaply. That's now what I'm worried about, is exactly what you're talking about, Mark. It's not just that it has a limited audience, although it does. It's who was it? I read somebody. It might have been in that newsletter earlier today, but that Discovery makes content that you consume while you're folding the laundry or doing the dishes or whatever. They make this nothing content, and the margins are high, and that's true. But it's not just that it has a limited audience, which you're right, it does. It also has a limited time frame. You've got, if you put out reality TV content, it's not going to age all that well. Take something like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. They've got like 20 something odd seasons. It might be up to 30 seasons on Discovery Plus now. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Fun show. I'm one of those, hey, Guy Fieri, yeah, like, what a dude. He's cool. So great show. But if you go back to those first few seasons, the first 10 seasons or whatever, a lot of those places are now closed down. So part of the fun of it is, hey, I'm going to go to Philadelphia. So I'm going to go check out whatever episodes of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, took place in or around Philly, so that I can get some ideas of where to go. And it gives these restaurants a big boost, but a lot of them are gone now. That's the restaurant business. They open, they close, whatever. And so, things like that, or, you're looking at Fixer Upper, or what's the one where people, House Hunters, like these things, they don't age the same. Now, you can say that about some scripted content, much scripted content, really. But you think about something like The Sopranos. That's got legs, right? People are still watching that. People are still talking about that. And so, they spent a cajillion dollars making this really nice scripted content, but they're dining out on that 20 years later. That's pretty nice, right? So anyway, that's I'm afraid that Mark is right, that Zaslav thinks reality TV is the key to profits because of the high margins. And that may be true, but it feels short-sighted. Which brings up one more possible. I hesitate to even bring this up because now we're getting into like conspiracy theory territory, but it feels plausible to me. I don't know that this is what's going to happen, but it feels plausible. And the conspiracy theory is this: that Zaslav and Discovery are basically going to use Warner Media to help build the Discovery brand and boost that name recognition, get more streaming subscribers, whatever, and do that kind of on the shoulders of HBO Max and HBO generally, and the rest of the Warner Media library. And then once they've done that, once they've exhausted it, you just sell it off. Sell off Warner Media again. So, or, whatever their stake in it is. Who cares? We want out. We got what we wanted out of it, which was what the Warner Brothers brand that's been around for 100 years or more. We got what we wanted out of you. Now, you're somebody else's problem. So maybe that could occur. We'll see. It just feels, like I said, it feels a little conspiracy theory-ish to me. All right. So let's take a look at a few comments. Okay, so here's a good one from Frayden, and I apologize. I know there have been a bunch of comments, and I've missed a whole bunch of them because I've been looking at the camera instead of over at the comments. Which I wonder if I can can I flip my screen? Because it's weird to me that I look over here and you guys think I'm looking away from your comments. Okay, nothing is happening till next summer. A lot can change between now and then. That's all we can hope for. I'm not rooting against Discovery Plus, but HBO Max is the bigger name brand. That's kind of how I feel too. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about Discovery Plus. Like I said, I'm not the audience for it. I don't really like reality TV content, but I think it's a great app. And if you do like that content, it's fantastic. It's a great app. But like, was it Mark earlier who said it's got a limited audience? Yeah, that may be true. I think of it as filler content, and I think a lot of people, I think a lot of other people to do as well. So in the cable days, Discovery made a lot of money, you know, creating all these different channels and just blanketing the airwaves with, or the cable waves with reality content, cheap reality content, because it was filler for the cable channel or for the cable and satellite providers. They can be like, oh yeah, look at these marquee channels. We've got Travel TV and the Food Network and Oprah and, well, I don't know if Oprah's in there, whatever, you know, HGTV and all that stuff. But it's so cheap. But like I said, this is content that you consume while you're folding your laundry. This is not appointment television. And so now in the days of streaming, where you and I have the choice, we don't have to have that filler content. You know, we don't have to pay for it. $5 a month, that's cheap. But is it cheap enough for something that I'm not going to use? Let's see. Epix Gamer said, I'm going to be completely honest. I borrowed Discovery Plus from a friend. And to be honest, yeah, I heard, borrowed. Nice. And to be honest, I barely use it. I would use HBO Max more. Yeah, we all would. It's a whole thing. Like, so, oh man. Anyway, where was I? I feel like I just blacked out and did 21 minutes of a live stream, you know, without knowing where I am or who I am. What is truth? Time is a flat circle. All right. Okay. Let's hear from Frayden. My prediction is if they submerge all of HBO Max's content to a hub on Discovery Plus, they're going to get a rude awakening as people will drop them faster than Netflix at this point. Oh, yeah, no, it's so HBO Max, let's call it 77 million subscribers, maybe down to 75. We'll call it 75. They're not releasing their numbers. That usually means they're not great. Could be even lower than that. Anyway, 75 million subscribers. If they did this, where I had to go to Discovery Plus, find the HBO channel, go into the HBO channel, and then find the hub I'm looking for. You know, I want DC content. I want, you know, HBO content. I want whatever. Like that's, you know, first world problems and all that, you know, perspective, fine. But still, compared to other streaming scenarios, that would be a nightmare, right? And yeah, I think you're right, Frayden. People would drop them faster than Netflix, a lot faster. I think 75 would go down to 50 overnight. And then in the long run, you know, over if they kept it up over a year or two, it'd drop way, way lower. So anyway, 90 Day Fiance. Oh my gosh. So much of that stuff. Okay. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I've missed so many. That's right. From 2 weeks ago. It's so good, I canceled it. I didn't cancel it because it was so good. It's so good, and I canceled it. It's true. It's a whole thing. I just gave my Discovery Plus rant again. I'm not going to do it again. Okay. So I'm going to now pull up Jared Newman's newsletter. In fact, I'm also going to, let's see, there we go. Weekly, that one should work. There we go. Let's see, is this going to work? I think it will. All right. Oop. Okay, there we go. So this is from Jared Newman, Cord Cutter Weekly. Go Google that. It comes out every Friday morning. It's always good. He always covers, you know, several topics, tells you about deals and whatnot. I can't recommend it highly enough. Like I said, I've had him on this stream a couple of times, and he's a great dude, and he puts out a really great streaming newsletter. So please go check that out, Cord Cutter Weekly. And the reason I'm bringing this one up is for these bullet points right here. So this is what we found out yesterday at the announcement, the Q2 earnings announcement. are these kind of bullet points here. HBO Max and Discovery Plus will merge into one streaming service sometime next year. Like you said, we already knew this would happen, but we didn't know when. So now we know it's going to happen next year. So my little tombstone on the thumbnail yesterday was wrong. It will not die in 2022, but it might die in 2023. We'll see. This one, Warner will cut back on releasing new movies straight to HBO Max instead of sending them to theaters first. Okay, so we're going to get more movies in theaters first from Warner. The Dune sequel or whatever else we have coming up will go straight to the theaters instead of streaming. Which, I thought the day and date releasing, as they call it, when you release it on streaming as well as in the theaters on the same day and date, it made sense in the pandemic. It doesn't make a lot of sense after the pandemic. So I'm fine with that, to be perfectly honest. And the next one, you'll have to wait longer to stream new movies on HBO Max. They're looking to bring back an exclusive window for purchases and rentals. Again, makes sense to me. I don't really have a problem with this. Was it nice as a consumer to be able to watch something day of on my TV? Yes, absolutely. That was great. But economically, I get why the theater, the economics of movie theaters make it more worthwhile to put them out in theaters. So great, totally fine. Let's see. Warner once again seems interested in distributing more of its content outside of HBO Max. To that end, the company plans to launch a separate free streaming service with ads in the future. So now we're getting into some interesting stuff. Okay, we already talked about this. Attempts to cut costs abounds. Whatever. You guys, I'm so tired. I can't even talk today. We talked about Batgirl. We talked about the underperforming films. Okay, so back to this one. Interested in distributing more of its content outside of HBO Max. To that end, the company plans to launch a separate free streaming service with ads in the future. So, to me, this sounds a lot like... let's do that way. This sounds a lot like Prime Video and Freevee, right? Where you have these things that kind of work together. And there are other pairings out there, but that's the one that popped into my mind right away. So what are they going to do with that? I don't know. What kind of content would go on HBO Max? What kind of content would go outside of HBO Max? This does seem to indicate that HBO Max is sticking around. So hopefully that's the case. But like somebody said, was afraid and said a lot can happen in the next year. And that is absolutely true. If Discovery Plus ruins HBO Max, maybe Netflix should cut them a check for all the subscribers they'll regain. Nice. I love it. Pluto sounds like Pluto. Yeah, it does kind of sound like Pluto. Yeah, there you go. But I don't know. Pluto does like the live TV stuff. I wonder what the new, what the Discovery streamer will be, if it'll be live TV centric or on demand centric. I guess we'll see. Where was I? Who am I? Whatever. I don't know. All right. What do you guys think about all this? I don't want HBO Max to go. I get it free via AT&T. Nice. Let's see. Frugal Audiophile says, I dropped HBO Max because of the cost, and I just wasn't watching it a lot. I don't think this merger will bring me back. Fair enough. Absolutely. That's exactly how we should be treating our streaming services. I think at minimum twice a year, maybe every quarter, so maybe 4 times a year. I think we should all be doing our like going through our streaming costs and seeing, okay, so wait, I'm still subscribed to that? And if you haven't watched that since the last time you did your quarterly budgeting review, get rid of it, right? If you're just not watching it a lot, get rid of it. I think that's 100% fair. That is correct. Oh, here you go. Well, yeah, like the Roku channel. Sorry, what are they referring to? It's this right here. The company plans to launch a separate free streaming service with ads. Yeah, but I guess what I'm curious about, and sorry, I know I'm bouncing back and forth. I apologize for that, everybody. But what I'm curious about is whether it will or how it will interact with the existing services. So HBO Max and Discovery Plus are going to merge into one super app, right? Which, oof. How will that super app interact with the new ad-supported app? I don't know. So when you're saying it's like the Roku channel, it's like Pluto. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But I like the example of Prime Video and Freevee in part because when you go on Prime Video, they put the whole Freevee library in there. So when you come across a title, it may say, this plays on Freevee with ads, right? I'm not saying I love that, but it is an interesting way to do it, right? So there's a lot of interplay between those two apps. I wonder what the interplay will be here. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm with you, Space Ghost. They should keep the apps separate and then offer a discount for bundling them. I think that is true. From if what we were saying earlier is true, and this is more about building the Discovery brand, using Warner Media to build the Discovery brand, then that's why they want to combine it, is so that you're kind of, if you love the Warner content, you love the HBO Max stuff, then you are kind of saddled with Discovery. It's a bit like I was saying earlier with the old cable model. They made a lot of money riding on the backs of other channels as kind of that daytime TV filler content. Yeah, it's not appointment television. It's just noise in the background. And that may be kind of what they're thinking here. Hey, HBO Max is doing great. They're a juggernaut. We can piggyback on that and kind of be the filler content again. And, if they're making $5 a month from 22 million people, and then they piggyback onto HBO Max and raise that cost, the cost of HBO Max, let's say it's $20 a month now, and $5 of that is going toward, Discovery, suddenly you've got 75 million people paying $5, that's just instant profits right there, right? So I'll tell you one more fear I have. One fear that I have, you guys have talked about David Zaslav's love of reality content. My fear is that with this $3 billion in cost savings that he has to come up with, not an enviable task. That does not sound like a lot of fun. But my fear is that he'll take a look at the budgets of shows, like the Game of Thrones shows and some of the movies that Warner is putting out, and he'll look at those budgets and go, well, you just do a reality show for a lot cheaper. And suddenly HBO Max becomes this home of a ton of streaming content. That would be a nightmare scenario for me. Is if they watered down the HBO brand with cheap, quick content that has no cultural impact, that would be my nightmare. I don't know about you. Some people just like having something on, and he says, absolutely. That's where I think, I use my parents as an example with something like this. I helped them cut the cord a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago maybe, and when I was talking to them, they said, well, yeah, but how are we going to have, I want a show on, like, in every room. I want the multiple TVs playing throughout the house with the same show. I'm like, why? And it was basically, yeah, I like the noise. I just want something on. The house feels empty and boring without it. And so they wanted the noise. And I think that's where a lot of people are at. And Discovery content is great for that. Let's see. All right, so Frayden says, since not necessarily HBO Max, but HBO itself is such a brand and has been around for so long, Can you see any scenario where they would get such backlash from this that they will change course? Yes, I can. Like I said earlier, and I don't know what all the contractual stuff is. I'm sure that there's a lot of lawyerly things involved with having handed the operational controls over to Discovery. But Warner Media is still the majority stakeholder here. So, or shareholder, whatever word you want to use for it. So I could see a situation where they finally get, if Discovery is doing what people fear, what I fear that they're doing is using Warner Media to boost their own brand, run it into the ground, sell it off, later. If they see that happening enough and egregiously enough, I could see them taking the reins back and saying, okay, straight up, screw you guys. We're taking our ball and going home. I could see that. But again, I don't know what all the legal ramifications would be for that and how difficult it would be. But yeah. Like this HBO Max still belongs to Warner Media. So okay. Or am I saying? I think is AT&T still a shareholder? Whatever, whoever it is. Okay. I actually downloaded Freevee on my Apple TV the other day, and it's got some pretty decent stuff on there. Heck yeah, it does. Yeah, no, Freevee is fine. I hate commercials, and so I'll only use it if I have to. But they do have a good library. All right. And now I'm falling behind again, you guys. I'm falling way behind. Okay, all right. So Jake, I think you're a newcomer, so thank you for being here. I appreciate that. HBO is still cheaper than other services, but doesn't put out enough content like its competitors. Discovery doesn't seem like the ideal fit for HBO Max's future. May go back to DVDs. Yeah, there you go. Hang on to your physical media, kids. I've been saying this for a long time. Streaming is great, but that doesn't mean you should throw out all your DVDs and Blu-rays. Okay. Let's talk about this. Still cheaper than other services, but doesn't put out enough content like its competitors. I am going to gently, respectfully disagree. And the reason why is, I guess it really just depends on how much content you consume and what your threshold for good content is. Because as most of you know, I'm a huge Apple TV Plus fan. I think it's been great since day one. I go in there frequently and I find things to watch. That being said, it's not Netflix. It's not HBO Max. I'm not going in there constantly. Or I shouldn't say HBO Max. It's not Netflix. It's not Hulu. It's not, whatever else. Netflix especially, I think that's like the beau ideal of putting out just tons of content, like Jake is talking about. But the problem, and we've all known about this for a while, is that Netflix has quantity, but it doesn't have quality for the most part. Obviously, they've got their Stranger Things and their Bridgertons and their whatever else that are really great, well-produced, well-written shows. So they do have some of those, but the vast majority, the 95% of what they put out is kind of garbage. It's not great. It's really, cheaply produced, quickly made, badly written. And that's what they're putting out. So I would rather get one new show a month, or let's say I would rather get one new show a month from Apple TV Plus than 50 new shows a month from Netflix, because I know that Apple TV Plus show is going to be quality. Okay, so why am I talking about Apple? Because I kind of view Apple as the new HBO. That's what HBO used to be. And it still is. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they've fallen from such a great height. That's not what I'm saying. But they don't hold the same place culturally as they once did now with the advent of HBO Max. Apple TV Plus, I think, has that. And so whether it's them, whether it's HBO, whoever, I appreciate that they slow down that they spend a lot of money, but they also, you see where that money went. With Netflix, it's like it might as well have gone down the drain because I can't possibly keep up. I'm not interested in almost anything they're putting out, and that's true for everybody, right? Um, so anyway, so yeah, that being said, I'm with you on may go back to DVDs. Yeah, keep your DVDs. Okay. Angela. Okay, so I know I'm missing a few still, but I'm gonna go back up here. I am one of the few with Discovery Plus, and I don't have HBO Max. I like the animal and true crime shows. Could they be waiting to see what happens with Aquaman 2 and The Flash? Could be. It could be. I doubt whether Aquaman 2 and The Flash will have a lot of um, effect on the situation, but it's possible. It's possible. But yeah, hey, like, this is what I'm talking about. Angela is the person I'm talking about. When I say I love Discovery Plus, it's just not for me. This is what I'm talking about. You love the animal shows. You love the true crime shows. Great. Like, that's good. Then you found the streaming service for you. It just it may have a more limited reach than something like HBO Max. Okay, where are we at? My gosh, you guys are you're. I love having so many comments, but it is hard to keep up. So let's see. Batwoman movie got axed because of the mess. Yeah, pretty much. I would agree regarding Netflix's original content lately, but they have acquired some great partnership content in recent months. Yeah, it's like they're getting back into the licensing game more seriously, and that's no bad thing. Let's see. I have it on Discovery, National Geographic. Okay, all right. All right. Okay. Am I missing anything else? I don't think I'm missing anything else. I do like this. I'm going to pull this screen back up. Jared takes a little victory lap here. Says, none of this is quite as dramatic as some rumors have suggested, but it does signal a shift in how Warner approaches streaming, not necessarily for the better. As they seek profitability, the plan is to create a more bloated service, probably at higher prices, while also being stingier with content. Too bad no one saw this coming. This is the boat I'm in. Yeah, as soon as they announced the merger, I was like, oh. So I'm gonna join Jared in his victory lap here. So, all right, you guys, where are we at here? I wonder if there will be crossover shows when HBO and Discovery finally merge services. Will we see House of Dragons, Hunters International? You guys, in the comments, I want to see your best merger shows. House of Dragon House Hunters International, I think, would be hilarious. Okay, so yeah, hit me with your best shot. Diners, Dragons, and Dives. I love this. Oh boy, who wants to talk about the NFL Plus app? Another day. Another day. That is an issue for another day because, wow. Yeah, very interesting. Okay. I already told you we're hunting for Bigfoots here and the sounds they make. Okay. Shark Week the musical. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. What do you think the price increase on this would be? We're also caught up on the HBO Max content thing, but that's a major point here to consider as well. Absolutely. I think that's in determining whether the new app sinks or floats, whether Discovery gets their wish of riding the HBO dragon out of obscurity and into the streaming limelight. It's going to depend a lot on the price of the app. If they're going to create a new ad-supported app, that's fine, unless they pull a bunch of content from HBO Max. if they pull a bunch of the favorite stuff, well, this is already leaving for, is it Peacock? But like the Harry Potter movies, the Lord of the Rings movies, the new documentaries that are coming out, whatever, like a lot of that HBO content, if they shift that over to the ad supported app to try to get people excited about that one, hey, go check this thing out, then HBO Max would suffer as a result. The content on there would suffer. And sorry, and now I know Freyden's saying, we're caught up on the content thing, and don't worry, I'm bringing it back, because let's say they did that. They pulled a bunch of stuff over there, but with the new app, they're like, hey, with the old one, with the combined app of HBO Max and Discovery Plus, they're like, hey, look at all this stuff. It's going to be $20 a month, $5 a month increase, for the no ads plan. If they do that combined with less or lesser content, they're in trouble. Big trouble. Like that will not work. And I'm happy to go into their boardroom and say it. Like that just don't do it. They're going to have to find some way to either keep the price the same, or not get rid of any of their marquee content. So Fixer Upper with Tony Soprano. Selena and Guy Fieri. Nice. With the NFL Plus app, we are going to cover that at a different time. I've looked into it a little bit, but I don't feel conversant enough in it to tackle it, live right now. So, but yeah, we will talk about that. We've got a few more weeks until the NFL season, so maybe that'll be a subject of another live stream, is kind of deep diving into NFL Plus. I should buy Warner. Didn't we come up with wasn't there a new name that like Reviews Max, or sounds like Newsmax? Reviews Max Plus Ultra, whatever. Anyway, yeah, no, I should buy Warner. I think I'd be pretty good at it. Guys, grocery, Game of Thrones, nice. Bundle price $19.99. Honestly, I think the idea behind the bundle is that then you can bring the cost down, right? You bundle these services and then you get it for less than they would be separately. So if it's $15 for HBO Max and $5 for Discovery Plus, you ought to be able to bundle them for $18, right? Get a couple bucks off. I'm not saying you need to like completely gut the cost of the service. Like, HBO content is expensive, so charge me a lot. Fine. But yeah, there should be a discount if they bundle it. What's wrong? Oh my gosh, Game of Thrones dating show where you take them home to meet your parents and then get disemboweled, right? Oh, interesting. Dead Files pulled out of Discovery Plus. Only thing I watched on there. Was going to sign up for HBO Max to binge Game of Thrones. Go for it. It's all there for now. And now's a good time. If you haven't binged Game of Thrones, with the House of the Dragon, is that House of the Dragon coming up later this month? Just be careful. I think that comes out in about 3 weeks, give or take. And if you make it through, if you watch the entirety of Game of Thrones in 3 weeks, it's like the time that I binged Breaking Bad in 2 weeks, and I felt like I needed to shower from the inside out for a solid week or two after that. Like that'll mess you up, and I think Game of Thrones would similarly do that. So careful. Okay, Craig is always right. That's true. I take plenty of victory laps. I don't need to take the same victory lap as Jared does on the newsletter, because I take victory laps all the time. I got no shame. But I'm also like blurred out, and I don't know why. Okay, Craig, Warner Media. That's 90 days of Euphoria. The bundle will be $1 less than whatever Netflix is charging at the time. It's not a bad way to go, honestly. Find a way to do it. I love that. Okay. Oh, Home. Nice. Says, I have HBO Max, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Netflix, Peacock, Discovery Plus, Disney Plus. I'm so happy to have all of them. That's a lot of content, and you'll never not have something to watch. Um, so yeah, if that's in your budget, and we did this last week. Last week, if you missed it, you go back and watch the on demand of last week's live stream, and we budgeted out what it would look like. You know, if you have $30 to spend on streaming, $60 to spend on streaming, $90. And it turns out that as long as you're not doing a live TV streamer, you know, Fubo, YouTube TV, Hulu Live, whatever, as long as you're not doing a live TV streamer, you can get all of these things and it still feels like a screaming deal. So for like less than $60 a month, you can get everything. It's amazing. All right. When do you think Warner Brothers would start getting involved with Discovery's merging takeover? I don't know. Like I said, there are too many unknowns to know, like, around the contract. There are too many unknowns, and I couldn't say like what the tipping point will be. I'm just guessing that there is one. That's all. Would anyone recommend watching Euphoria on HBO Max? I tried to watch a couple episodes of it. It was too much for me. It's not for the prudishness. I'll watch whatever, but it was too much of an intense downer for me. Like that is some rough stuff they're putting on screen there. So, okay. I think it's called a Ring of Fire. Nice. Rings of Power is what it's called. That's funny. Okay. Oh, but it's like Shameless, where it takes a lot out of you if you binge it all at once. Yeah, no, that's okay. That's a good way to put it. It takes a lot out of you. Great way to put it. So yeah, I did not stick with the show. If I did, I'm sure there would be things that I would love about it, but love it or send it through the moon door. There you go. Nice. All right, guys, let's start the process of wrapping this up. Let me know if you have any final questions or comments about this this merger, all the stuff that's happening right now. Oh man, I'm getting messages from the reviews team that I should buy Warner. You know, so this is for any of the reviews bigwigs watching. I need $90 million. Just so I can buy a decent bit. Just $90 million. It's a loan, right? I just need a loan, a small loan of $90 million. That's what I need, and we'll be off to the races. So okay, yeah. Let's start the process of wrapping this up. Let me know if you have any final thoughts, final questions, whatnot. I'll stick around for just a couple more minutes, and I will not go an hour 7 or whatever I did last week. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick around for a couple more minutes. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit, see what else you guys have said that I missed. Yeah, this is where a lot of us are, I think. Spread themselves too thin, evident in the quality. Absolutely. Yeah, there were stories at Netflix of they had a policy, and they've gotten rid of it now this year after their Q1 debacle. They had a policy where if it is, so, with the hierarchy, you've got like the low man on the totem pole, and then you've got their manager, their director, the VP, the C-suite executive, whatever. And if somebody up at the top vetoed a show and they said, no, we're not going to produce this show, you could go down 2 levels and that person could override the decision from the top and get a show made. I don't know the ins and outs of exactly how it worked, but it was nuts. Like, at what point can anybody say, no, we're not making this show? It's like if it's somebody's pet project in accounting, okay, probably not that, but in the content dev team, somebody's pet project, it's going to get made. they're going to throw a bunch of money at it, and their bosses can't do anything about it, which seemed crazy to me. Just bananas. Okay. I want to talk to the big wigs at Reviews. They never answer the. They get so many emails, you guys, and I am sorry about that. If you send emails and they're not able to respond, it's a small team, and it's a small team and a big brand. So hopefully you can cut them a little slack, grains of salt, whatever. It's rough. It's tough to answer everything. Okay. Oh, yeah, I did see this. Discovery is adding a CNN Originals hub to Discovery Plus starting August 19th. Yeah, so CNN Originals, they do a lot of, documentary stuff. So, yeah, they're going to get their own tab, which could be nice if you enjoy those. Okay. Let's see. You're using it outside the U.S. with a VPN. Will you still be able to use the same credentials on the new app? No idea. We have no idea what the new app is going to look like. It's a good question. But we just, we can't know. Okay. The new Game of Thrones prequel could be a huge hit and change all of this. Don't hold your breath. It could be a hit, but if it's going to be a hit, it's going to be the modest version of a hit, I think. Okay. So, CNN is not doing streaming anymore. That was long gone. So I think you're referring to this one, the CNN Originals hub. Yeah, different thing. CNN Plus is gone. But that is not. Okay, guys. I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Hopefully this brings you up to speed. If you came in late on this live stream, then go ahead and wait for the on-demand version and scroll through. We talked about the rumors of what might be happening. The rumors that were swirling earlier this week about HBO Max and Discovery and the merger and all that stuff. And that was, we talked about that for the first 20 minutes or so. And so if you did come in a little bit later, go to roughly the 20-minute mark or so, and we kind of get into what the actual announcement was yesterday. So anyway, you can go check that out. It lasted 2 Quibbies. No, Quibi lasted 6 months. CNN Plus lasted less than 30 days. Wow. Less than 30 days. Anyway. All right. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, I don't just wear this shirt for the sweet, sweet fashion sense that you all know I have. It's to remind you, go to Reviews.org if you have things that you want to check out. If whether it's, streaming, obviously, but also cell phone plans and old school TV services, internet services, VPNs, and they've got a lot of reviews over there. So please go check it out. If you happen to be watching this live stream and you're not subscribed, please do so. That would be great. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That'll help us a lot on this and every other video. And with that, thank you so much for your participation, everybody. This was a busy live stream, and that's the way I like it. So I will see you next week, Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I will welcome you once again into the weekend. But for now, enjoy this weekend, and I will see you all next time.